Happy New Año.
No.
The video will be funny as shit on the Doobly Doos, yo.
That shit scared the shit out of me for a second. I was like, what the fuck is that? You know, somebody joined in on the shit.
That's what that nigga do in his videos. He sneak up behind niggas and say that shit.
I ain't gonna lie, I was had to swing on the nigga, yo. Ain't no way you gonna creep up behind me and then just whisper that shit in my fucking ear, yo. Like,
Niggas do be bugging.
yeah, like I'm all in the spirit of fun, my nigga, but yo, like boundaries.
Nah, everybody don't be too delighted that nigga doing that shit.
I can imagine.
Some niggas do be taking it there. What's up? What's up? What's up? We got another great, interesting episode of, you guessed it, Two Ninja Kickback. I'm here with a brother of mine. Two Phone Tone is in the building. Tone, how you feeling, my guy?
Groovy, my G, smoking some beautiful fucking weed. You feel me?
I feel you. That shit got right in my chest in the middle of me trying to intro this shit.
I heard it a little bit.
Yeah,
man. Breathe in for a second, like, oh.
You know,
yeah, man.
You know what's funny, man? Like that's the best part about these motherfucking afterthought joints. Just niggas laid back, smoking, talking about life and different shit like that. I feel like this is what we give out some of our best advice, some of our best topics sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it's just shit that we kind of, you know what I mean, can talk about or go through where it's we not really shackled down by what say maybe going on with like, a gaming or, hip hop.
Main subjects.
Even though we don't even, we try to stray away from that as much as we can. Like if you're a, long-term listener to this shit, when it be like the height of some hip hop shit, we might deviate and just talk about some of our favorite MCs on the pod or some shit like that. Like we never want to be prisoners of the moment. Try to just find our own topics and shit like that. But today, as the title says, we want to talk about, just podcast envy, pod envy, whatever you want to call it. Like, it does happen. Like, I'm sure it happens with athletes when you're an athlete on the field and it's just this supremely talented nigga or some shit. He just getting busy and you like, damn, I can't do that.
That man just overshadow you completely for real. You just look at this motherfucker. And the thing, damn, it's crazy you even jumped into that shit because even with envy itself in like a basketball court, you can see how that shit translate to hate real quick to a motherfucker.
Yeah,
you feel me?
I
think
right.
Like the most closest thing, the association with envy besides like obsession is really just hate. You feel me?
I wasn't really going that deep with like the envy joint. I meant just more so like you're not wrong in what you're saying. 100% that is where it goes.
But you just threw that into my eyes like for real because I ain't gonna lie, I hate a motherfucker after that.
Yeah, like, that's why I'm trying to clean it up right now. Backtrack a little bit. I just meant more so like you could like, all right, so say you sit on the couch, you're like, damn, man, I wish I was Tom Brady. That type of envy, not necessarily like neck and neck compete.
Okay.
But like, you see it a lot. Like,
I got cloud envy.
Yeah. Same thing with like the content, yo. Like, sometimes your content might not be all the way there. Like you can't put your videos up how you want them. So you look at other people's homework or other people's work and you like, shit, fuck, my shit don't look like that. Ah, man, I should put it out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. Like, in the podcasting space, I feel like it's a lot of great shows. And I be looking at them shit sometimes like, damn, yo, that shit is immaculate. Like,
now I know what you mean. Because in a way, like when you look at people's setups for real, it's because it's almost like how it is in Twitch for real. Like when you look at a nigga like streaming setup and shit, you just like, damn, yo, this nigga got this mic. Damn, this nigga got this camera.
Right?
He got camera A, camera B, camera C, all pointing in the right directions and shit. He getting the right
one
touch.
that is. That is bad from everywhere. Yo, like, how many cameras this nigga got, yo? Be right back, guys. We'll take a bathroom break, but stream's gonna continue in the bathroom.
And not only that, for real, like I can only imagine as a man such as you feel me, like you handle the engineering work too, you feel me? So
right.
It's another job added in itself. So I can only imagine like seeing other niggas like say like a Joe Budden podcast for instance.
That's
when
exactly
niggas
where I was going.
Parks on standby.
That's exactly where I was going. Like for me, like not even it's the envy in terms of like hate or just like it's some supremely dope shit.
Setup.
Yeah, not even necessarily the setup. Sometimes it can just be the situation the niggas got going, or like a particular episode where everybody firing in all cues, and like it's just an enjoyable environment to be in. Like for you
Oh
tuning
yeah.
in as a listener, like sometimes you just kind of like, damn, yo, these niggas is good at what they do. Like I'd say nobody really provided that feeling to me wise in that podcasting space like the Joe Budden podcast did. Like they really brought you into some whole other shit that you can't touch on it because it wasn't really fathomable, but it did exist.
Hmm.
It was just like a chemistry thing that these niggas had, and you were coming into their like circle.
That bubble for real.
Yeah, that's not something you can really duplicate as yourself. So you can get a little envious of that. Like, damn man, these niggas got a great situation around them right now. They poised to go far. It
Mm.
always don't work out like that, but it's just like just different podcasts in the spaces. Some podcasts might suck. A podcast might suck, and you like, they got the spot, and you looking at them like these niggas is trash. But
Yeah, I mean, shit. I ain't gonna lie. Academics is one of those niggas that like he speak that shit like, and this is not no envious shit. This is not no dick riding shit. But this is just pure joy and entertainment. When I just see him scream at like motherfuckers who claim they the shit in the podcasting realm.
yeah,
And it's one of those moments too, for real. Cause like I sit down and have the same sentiment that you have for real. Like I listen to like some newer podcast for real, and I'm wondering how the fuck they got on like this.
well, yeah, it's like, bro, this just sucks.
Yeah,
Like,
like yo, don't nobody give a fuck about you waking up on a Saturday morning just to eat some fucking cereal and ponder why your fucking life sucks, yo. Like niggas don't care about that shit no more, yo.
and it sucks because uh, as the talent rises, so does the playing field. So it's like,
It
your
does.
audio got to get better, your visuals got to get better. Like, when we was back in the caveman days at YouTube, you could get away with a lot of shit. Same thing with audio files. Like, you remember
Oh
when niggas
no.
was telling niggas to download Anchor and run a podcast through like your headphones or some shit?
Yeah, yeah.
It just sounded like a nigga talking through a Dixie cup. You like, I'm not getting away with this shit. But
Oh motherfucking.
it's like with anything, you gotta invest in your craft too to a degree.
Oh yeah. I mean, but like, and see, I like how you just said that. Like, you have to invest in your craft for real, because that's all this shit is, and like the payout dividends come like when you see just the progression along with that shit. You feel me? Like it's how should I say this shit? Like I'm
You
high as
get
fuck right
in,
now,
you
bro.
get in what you put in, like you get
Pretty
back what you
much.
put in. If you like
Yeah,
pay
it's
for
all
like
about that investment. You feel me? Like
right,
no matter how people look at that shit, you feel me? Like the investment that you set on yourself with all this equipment for real, eventually this shit's going to pan out somewhat if a motherfucker stay true to this shit.
yeah, I'm glad you added that stay true shit. Because that shit don't pan out for niggas when it's just you just throwing shots in the dark. Like you posting 1 month, then every 2 months, and every other week, and then like that shit ain't gonna get you nowhere. You running in circles
Facts.
unless you could just hit one out the park.
But that's one of them rare anomalies. Like not everybody that nigga. You feel me?
Yeah, niggas don't be hitting them out the park on purpose like that. That should be like on some accidental viral shit. It'd be a nigga getting interviewed over, you know what I mean? Somebody at the jail or some
Yeah.
shit. And it'll go viral.
And then you see like motherfuckers that would try to recreate that same moment and
Yeah,
shit. It's like, dog, like that shit was organic. Like
it's nasty. Like yo, and then 5, 6. That's why I be getting so mad at TikTok sometimes because it's like a nigga will post one video and then it'll be 150,000 other motherfuckers doing the same shit in this other video as the other motherfucker. Like, and it's just like, dog, you
TikTok
you done took
is
this man
really in a
audio
space.
and you just
Yeah.
doing the same video now.
Kicking it with Kev, yo. Mm, kicking it with Kev.
That
That
shit be
shit,
everywhere, yeah. That shit was
nigga.
everywhere with TikTok. Shit
I
was
saw
all
so many
over it.
niggas doing that shit. Yo, like I was like, yo, what the fuck? A lot of you niggas don't know this man's story.
They ain't giving a fuck to go look either.
Yeah, yo, I knew that shit got real when the fucking CEO, when like the COs, like in the prisons and shit like that,
Mhm.
was doing TikToks with that shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
What is going on here? Let me ask you this though, like we are two huge fans of the whole Joe Budden podcast and everything. We were talking about like, you know, it being probably one of the greater podcasts and shit like that. And then, the breakup happened.
Hmm.
Both of them with their individual ways or whatever, both of them are doing I'm sorry, great stuff in the podcast space moving forward and stuff like that. Did you get a chance to see the whole situation with Roy Mall signing that Stitcher?
Yeah. Actually, listen to the 30-minute episode when they actually broke that shit down for
Yeah, kudos
real.
to these niggas, man.
Thanks.
Shouts
I
out to
mean,
these
but
niggas.
yeah, I mean, but it was gonna happen eventually. Like, you got KD putting the battery in their back, and not only that, for real, like,
Yeah, what happened with that situation? I want to know, like, cause they had signed on with KD and his network that he was trying to get going.
hmm
Do
I
you
don't
think
know,
maybe
but
they wasn't just getting a push there or something that they felt like they needed?
possibly, or it's possibly one of those things like when you got like a name such as KD for real, and motherfuckers ain't feeling you, and then you just mention, yeah, yo, KD on this motherfucker looking at niggas. You feel me? It's almost like real estate. I got another bidder on the line. Like I can't really hold this shit up, type shit. You feel me?
And it is better to go to a bigger company like say I can't really go to Spotify again, but Stitcher is a big, huge company in the podcasting space too. So like you
That is
might get
true.
more of a main focus and shit like that too.
hmm
Let me
If
ask you
niggas
this.
was a, oh, go,
No, go ahead. Like, I'll let you finish statement.
uh, I was just gonna say if like niggas was gonna try to throw out like KD has this network that's coming out for real, and we're invested with this, not knowing KD might be actually on the
And I'm
inside
glad you
with these
said that. See,
niggas.
I'm glad you
You
said
feel
that.
me?
Not that part. Like, you're a fool. But I'm saying more so with the network situation. You see, like a
hmm
lot of people with their different podcast networks. You got Charlemagne. You got what Joe Budden's trying to create. KD, what he was trying to create, or if he's still trying to create it, I'm not sure. But like, you got
hmm
his situation. You got like a lot of like developing entities that are trying to gather up a bunch of people and put them under one umbrella. I mean, what's your take on that? Like, do you feel like that's something like you could ever see? Because me, I'm like, I'd ride for a team if we was to get picked up by one of these niggas. Like, it could be eventually where we start getting calls when I start shopping this joint.
Oh
Like, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, how would you feel about signing on to a network? Because I feel like if we had that extra push from like a network too, like that family shit or whatever, like even like just
hmm
the networks you would see us at.
Shit. To be honest, I'm right along with you. I'm rocking with whoever's selling me guns, my nigga. We cool. You feel me?
I don't give a fuck what the name on the
Yeah,
door
fuck it.
is,
If
nigga.
it's
Let
the
me in.
Americans, if it's the Russians, my nigga, I don't give a fuck. Whoever giving me guns, you feel me?
But I mean more so in like a you see what like have you been paying attention to the landscape? Like you see what the Black Effect Network has. You see some of the entities that they got inside of their network. You see how to like where Joe Button is going with his network. Just like
hmm
what would be like a fit that you think would be perfect or you don't think the fit has came yet?
Mm.
Because we don't know who
So,
else is developing podcast networks and stuff like that.
that is
But
true.
you see what I'm saying? So like,
Me myself personally, just because I am a black man and I'm a black man in this space of podcasting, you feel me? It is a very honorable thing to be in, especially having the opportunity to share your voice with millions of other people that care about your fucking perspective. You feel me?
uh-huh.
But like me myself personally, to a degree, I think number one would be the black. What is it? Black effect.
Yeah.
Just because like it's you feel me? It's like it's a space for black people.
Mm.
You feel me? Like and to be honest, at the same time, like we really don't see nobody in the black space like really popping when it comes to like mainstream gaming.
Right. I mean, I mean, yeah, they're out there. But I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
but it's
And
a
the
niche. It's a
mainstream
niche
of
type
like the
audience.
casual, yeah,
You
the
feel me?
casual side of it.
You had more niggas that'll be concerned about niggas that's like on 2K versus niggas that actually like been doing this shit since like the past 13 years. You feel me? That actually have credible experience,
Played
credible
in some of
knowledge
the
when it comes
biggest
to shit.
tournaments and shit, right?
Played in the biggest tournaments and just have some of the like deepest insight and knowledge on shit. You feel me?
Right. See, for me, it was going down to like not to say we would ever be, just good enough to probably get on one of these now. We never know. Like, you don't know what cards fate may deal you. That's all you can ever do is depend on fate. Like, but I feel like me looking at it, I feel like leadership will come into play too. Like, and if I'm just, I hate to compare the two, but if you looking at where the podcast space is, niggas like $1 million worth of game. I think they also just signed a deal too. Like, you see
hmm
how just when the leadership seems right, it seems like it's flourishing. And I hate to make it seem like it, but like that whole situation with Joe, it just kind of fucked him in the race. Like
Yeah,
if we looking at just some of the stuff this man was preaching throughout that whole course of like just us falling in love with the podcast, really, it's like it was just a slap in the face. It felt like toward the end of it, it's like, damn, bro,
when he gave on that soliloquy about motherfucking De La Soul and that record deal and how that shit was set up, and he
and
started
cried on
crying.
like 2, 3 different networks, yo.
Yeah, when this nigga said when he did that shit, yo, and I ain't gonna lie, I sat down and cried too
Nah,
because I'm a fan of a
I
lot
ain't
of the
cry.
old. Not because on some real shit like this is the first culture I ever known. You feel me?
I feel
And
it.
these niggas is like literally like fucking heroes to me to a certain degree.
I
So
know
it's
what you
like
mean.
so it's like just to see like niggas like even today still not even getting the shit that they did like back then is still fucked up. You feel me? It's almost to the extent of like what if like all the great shit Prince ever did and he'll never get the recognition or the like due diligence for that shit.
Yeah, it does suck, man. Like that's the
Yeah.
woes of being an artist.
Imagine Drake being this tremendous artist, yo, and he can't get the money that he deserves.
I mean, I don't think none of the artists really get the money they deserve.
Well, fuck no.
But now that
That's why a
it's
lot of
said,
niggas go independent.
and that's where it's like somehow if you can keep the ship independent as long as you can and navigate that way, like I feel like that's always the best course of action. But sometimes you need that other entity to propel you to another set, like another stage, get you into it, like a different audience, that type of
Hmm.
shit.
Of course, of course. I mean, shit, you look at how even with Joe when they first started off on YouTube killing that shit, the only way you could hear these niggas on an audio version is if you had like Google or SoundCloud or some shit. You feel me?
Right out the mud.
Yeah, like and then once you seen that shit for real, like how these niggas transitioned from all the way over that shit to Spotify, like
Yeah,
it was one of them.
yeah, and it's like sometimes you the stars align.
Yeah. It's like how Joe Rogan finesse Spotify with that shit. And you look at the fucking height that Joe Rogan's on.
Yeah, I feel like podcasting kind of mellowed out a little bit too. We was on like a roller coaster projecting upward. Now we kind of at a space where we kind of hovering right now.
A
So
lot of
it's
niggas
like,
going back to work and going back outside the field.
yeah, it's hard to like. Sorry about that. It's hard to juggle this shit. It's hard to juggle it. Like niggas don't realize that. Like getting into the space. Like it might seem like you just talking and shit like that, but anything that you trying to turn into something, it's gonna eventually feel like work.
Oh yeah.
Hate to break it to you.
Yeah, but that's why they say the best career ever is to do something you love,
There
you
you
feel
go.
me? It's a love inside this shit. That's why niggas do that shit. You
You're
feel me?
not lying, yo.
Like I
Definitely
can't
not
judge
lying.
nobody. Yeah, I can't judge nobody on whatever hustle it is if they love that shit. You feel me? Like if that's them, if that's you, my nigga, go all the way. You can be a 50-year-old rapper, yo. If you love that shit, my nigga, go for it, yo.
As long as it ain't taken away from the other shit, go for it.
Yeah, you gotta handle your responsibilities, my nigga. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to handle like crazy shit from a 50-year-old.
Oh, but you gonna have to, yeah. Like
Yeah,
how's
that
she
is
gonna
true.
fund studio time? How's she gonna pay for beats? How's she gonna, put shit together? Like that's what niggas don't realize. Like once you start to like, I think that's what deter a lot of niggas too. Once you start to go down the, start going to go get it, it's like, damn, I need a camera. How much is a camera? Damn,
Yeah,
well I can't shoot this right now. I need a mic too. How much is a mic? Damn, I ain't got the mic money right now. So it's like instead of niggas buying that shit, nigga go get them an eighth. Nigga go get them a little drink. Nigga
yeah,
go cop him
yeah.
some shoes. Niggas go do this. Niggas go do that. You
They
put your
suppress
dreams on
that
the back
desire.
burner. Yeah, you got your shit on the back burner. You don't give a shit.
Man, how I look at that shit, yo. Whatever shit that I want, I know a price cap, I wait on it, and I get the at least one of the cheapest models after that bitch. You feel me? And I would just start up from that for real. You gotta grind up to that shit. You feel me? You just can't start off with the best
Get your
fucking
foot in the
equipment.
door. Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
like,
get your foot in the door.
and that's what fucked up. But like a lot of people, like, remember that one influx? Like, it's still into this day for real. How everybody's coming up with a fucking podcast nowadays and shit like that.
Hmm.
And you see that shit in full fledged in the line. Like niggas buy all the most expensive fucking equipment, all the most expensive
Yeah,
programs and shit like that.
yeah,
Niggas is still sloppy when it comes to editing transitions. Niggas is still sloppy when it just comes to mic work and shit like that. Like it's all types of shit.
yeah. No matter what the equipment is, if you don't know how to wield that shit,
Pretty much the last thing you want to be is a motherfucking warrior on the battlefield with the most expensive armor.
the dull sword.
Hmm.
But like I mean, that's for anything. Like like when the whole streaming shit started popping off, niggas was grabbing these capture cards and all this other shit, and then if you wait a month, you can get a whole nigga setup for half the
Hmm.
price he paid for it.
Now you there looking dumb, stupid.
That's how I came up
For
with a
what?
lot of my shit, bro. Like my green
Oh man.
screen, my easy cap, all of that shit was from my niggas' dreams.
And that I ain't gonna lie, like shouts out to the niggas that actually I wouldn't say gave up on their dreams, they just shot to reality. Because everybody needs to deal with reality before they deal with
Yeah,
their dreams.
sometimes you gotta put that shit on simmer, yeah.
Yeah,
I think I said
that's
on the
facts.
show, like, you doing your thing, and the next thing you know, shit outside of your favor that you can't control. Like when I was a teenager and I was pursuing this shit, I couldn't really like pay no bills. So when the lights was turned off and shit, you definitely ain't had no internet. So I definitely couldn't
Oh
upload
yeah.
shit.
Nigga, we came from the Stone Ages, my nigga. You feel me? Wasn't no damn unlimited Wi-Fi for the fucking phone and all this other crazy shit. You feel me?
Nah, you ain't lying. But yeah, like I think you just gotta put up shots though. Like I always put up shots.
That's what this shit is about for real. You feel me? It ain't nothing but shots. You feel me? And oh man, like the space. Matter of fact, let me ask you this: like, far as like the space of podcasting, how do you feel? Like, do you feel like it's more freedom of speech, or do you feel like we actually gotta like walk over, like dance around certain subjects or talk certainly when it comes to certain things?
I think that's the cool shit about podcasts, yo. I think it's so niche and shit like that. You can kind of get away with what you want to say for now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your words can always come back to haunt you. Like, that's
Oh
just
yeah,
how
that
it
is
go.
true.
But I think it's in a great space. I think in the coming years it's just gonna grow. Like, I mean, people were sitting down. I feel like when you're downtime, you ain't really out and about. I don't feel like podcasts like really hit the same if you ain't like doing your thing. Like the best time I feel like consuming a podcast is when you at work, at a gym, moving around throughout your day and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a lot of downtime, niggas not working and shit like that, like you know what I mean? Like a lot of podcasts that I listen to, they be like motivational or informative.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it's in a good space. All in all, I think it's I don't ain't nobody really getting clapped for the what they saying on podcasts like that. Like you know what I mean? Like we don't see it that much. And think about how
I
long
f-
niggas is on podcasts talking and shit like that.
that is true. I feel like a lot of niggas. I feel like a lot of motherfuckers be fake, like fake listeners.
Oh yeah, like, you know what's funny? Every time I like be watching like a person where a person we want to interview them, I guess like a B tier like celebrity, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody that's of prominence,
Mm-hmm.
got a couple followers. Every time they talk about like somebody having them on that podcast, it's always the worst experience because niggas A don't do no research and niggas B don't have any questions for the person, then C it's just an awkward experience. And like the
Yeah.
guest is like, yo, what you had me on here for?
And who the fuck says some shit like that? I remember it was an artist that said some shit like that. I can't remember the rapper for real, but like it do be shit like that for real. Like that's the shit that irked me the most because like
But it's even worse in podcasts. You know why? because it's how we need to get around. Like for a podcast, the best way to get your podcast discovered is to be on somebody else's podcast or to have
That is true.
influential people on your podcast. That's just how
That
you
is
move
true.
around, like to get noticed. So in this space, niggas just want you on the podcast just so they can attach your name to their shit and pull some of your downloads and your viewers and shit. It's not about really genuinely creating a good episode for the listener or creating something that's informative for the listener or getting to know this person. You know what I mean? And if that person does do interviews, it's like you can even go look at another interview this nigga did and ask the same generic questions, even though that's bullshit. But you could do that. It
It's
just
like the
shows
generic
when you
shit.
really don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like when a person is tuning in because they fuck with that person and they know all
Mm.
about that person, you'll start asking
Then you got
questions
something
that you know is
entertaining.
cringy. Like
Mm-hmm.
the listener at home is like, dog, this nigga just spoke about this on the last podcast about how niggas keep bringing up the same situation, like every interview.
So, NBA YoungBoy, about that body that your homie caught the other day. I'm just like, nigga.
But I never understood that, and we still learning our journalistic ways and all that other shit. We have yet to really interview a nigga on this bitch or whatever, or really get down to that rabbit hole. But I would feel like you don't want the same answer that the other podcasts are getting. You don't want that
Nah,
because the nigga not gonna watch your whole interview. I never watch something when a nigga is giving me the same rehearsed answers. You ever watch The Breakfast Club, then go watch Hot 97 when
oh,
they
nigga,
interviewing the
I used
same
to do that
guests?
shit faithfully.
It's
I
like
used
they
to do
give the
that shit
same
faithfully.
answers, same cues, all that shit.
But I would say in front of you, I think it depends on if the artist really fuck with certain people though, like, cause then you'll get certain answers. Like, I'm glad you said that, cause like Hot 97 and Power 105, these niggas been beefing for like the past 13 years damn near. You feel me?
Right.
And when it comes down to it, you see how certain artists fuck with certain people more. I mean, you look at like when Kodak showed up to the Breakfast Club for real. You feel me? It's nothing but love with these niggas. And then you see what Kodak showed the Hot 97 a few times, and then the last time him and Ebro got, you feel me, got into that shit.
Right. I definitely remember that.
So it could I don't know, like one of those situations could be sticky for real, but then you just have like just niggas that do just shitty interviews, period. You feel me? Like I
Yeah.
remember at one point, like Migos had no type of presence whatsoever. You feel me? When they was the first time they was on the Breakfast Club, like niggas thought all them niggas was retarded. I remember saying that shit in the comments.
Yeah. You know, that's gangsters. You're not getting much out
Yeah,
of
but a
gangsters.
lot
Niggas
of
don't
people
like to
don't
talk.
understand niggas don't talk. You
Yeah.
feel me?
Like niggas like that don't really talk to niggas. Like, not if they don't know you like that. Like,
Hey,
they
like what
know
the fuck
words
rap
have
about you
actions
for,
and
yo?
consequences,
We
yo.
promoting
Yeah.
yeah, we just promoting this album, yo. Like
Don't
let's
even really
talk about
want to be
that.
up here. The label told us to come promote the album. But it's amazing how the Migos have just grown and blossomed into superstars. Like for what
In
you saying to
transition,
where they
hell
at
yeah.
now, yeah, amazing. I get them boys their
Shout out to
flowers.
Cardi B, her little party for real that she had with the dancehall theme and shit. Saw Quavo on that bitch.
Shouts out to them, man. Black love.
Oh
That's what niggas need to be champion. BLM, Black Love Matter. That's
yeah.
what's
God
really at
damn.
attack.
God damn. Go ahead and talk, King. Go ahead, talk,
They
King.
don't want you
Preach.
aligned with your queens, my guy. They don't want
You
us
heard
on
me.
one accord, my guy.
You heard me.
Divided is how we fall. But yeah, man, like I never understood that shit either. Like you can't let outside forces penetrate your relationship. If y'all feel like y'all got some shit going on, gotta keep the outside forces working and like understand the niggas is young. Like if niggas in their 20s and we trying to commit to each other, man, we got our whole life. I'ma fuck up, you gonna fuck up. Let's keep it rolling.
Oh yeah.
We gonna
Ain't
look
that the
back at this
funny
shit
shit
when we in
about
our
certain
50s
shit?
and shit like, yo, we gave
No,
each
we
other
did
hell,
this
my
stupid
nigga.
shit. And that's the beauty about this shit. At some point, motherfuckers look back at this shit and laugh like, yo, like, no matter how, what's the word I want to use? Like, fucked up shit can get sometimes and shit like that. At some point, if you survive that shit, yo, you gonna laugh.
Got to, yo.
Hey, yo, it's just facts.
Just gotta go through it too, cause like you need it to
Yeah,
be with that one person. So like, ain't no that
yeah.
other person that was by your side the whole time. Like hell yeah, I remember when we was sleeping on that floor, nigga. sweeter when you get it
Remember
that
you
way.
heard the motherfucking. You said what?
I said that shit tastes sweeter when you get it that way, yo. Like when you really accomplish all your goals and you make it with the people you really came from nothing with. What?
Oh yeah, nigga. What? That's the dream right there. That's the all
Always
American
been the
dream.
dream, yeah. It's just niggas don't play their position. Niggas get left.
Oh nigga, what?
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, but shouts out to them. You gotta do what you gotta do.
What do
But
you? Oh shit.
no, no, go. I ain't had shit to say. I was
Oh,
about
I,
to.
oh my bad, my bad. I was just gonna get it. What do you feel like is genre when it comes to like podcasting nowadays? Because I
You
kind of
said
got
say
a
it again.
hint.
Say it one more time.
But
You
the
like
number one genre.
the number one genre in
Oh,
podcasting?
like matter of fact, not let me not even say that for real. What is like your favorite genre besides like, well, you already said like motivational shit like that for real, but like
My
anything else besides that?
my genres is the one we in really like for real. Like it's the hip hop, it's the gaming, and then like just the other spaces that we in that we just seem to occupy comedy. But it's like yeah, like I just hover in that pocket. I like being around like because you know like inside of that community is always humor, and like and humor
Oh
gets me
yeah.
through my day. I like to laugh,
Oh, facts, facts, facts.
and like for me, the humor is like transversatile or whatever. I guess you got to kind of know what's going on to get some of it, and I like that,
Yeah,
especially when you listen to good like podcasts.
especially like motherfuckers with some years on them and shit, when they can actually transcend throughout all the generations of
Niggas that's been
different
in the
lingo and
culture,
humor and
yeah,
shit like
man.
that.
Niggas that's been in the culture, like we still young in this shit, and we growing up in it, and we getting our stripes, our prominence, and all that other shit as we go up. You know what I mean? When we get our
Hmm.
big interviews, when we get our situations and all that other shit that we can check off in our boxes to add to our jacket, it's like I don't know, man. It means something more when you feel like it's coming from a nigga that's inside the source.
Oh yeah, facts. I ain't gonna lie, I'm putting a stamp on it, yo. We gonna talk to Morgan Freeman one day.
Claim it.
We gonna put a I'm putting a stamp on this shit. We talking to Uncle Snoop and we gonna talk to Morgan Freeman one day.
You guess niggas love to have one. What's the first question you asking for Morgan Freeman?
Morgan Freeman, how many freckles do you have on your face,
That's
my
crazy. You opening it up
nigga?
like that nigga. You talking about fucking up an
It's
interview.
like, nah, I'm gonna really ask him on some real shit. Oh, like, how did it feel playing God? Because I view you as God sometimes. Like when I picture God's voice, it's Morgan Freeman. So like, how was it playing God Bruce Almighty?
Yeah. Even the controversy that's stirred up. What? He's black
Well, yo,
playing
controversy
God?
boys, yo.
I remember that. I'm old enough to remember that controversy.
Yeah, or not even just that. When he was the first black president on film, my nigga, I would ask him that shit too.
Yeah, because you got, like, forwarders and shit like that, like Sidney Poitier and niggas like that.
Hmm.
He definitely in that cloth. His
Oh man,
pioneers in this shit.
was this? I'm trying to remember. It was a black film director that died recently. I can't remember the brother name, but R.I.P. You just reminded me of that
Yeah,
old school
RP.
dude.
But yeah, I think like, great things gonna come to shit that we just planting and sowing seeds and watering them. Like, our harvest gonna come. We gonna get there. That's why we
Mm.
try not to be too envious. Look how we brought that back around. Try to keep it humble and shit like that.
Yeah,
I think it's a
consume
must.
too much envy, you become hate, yo.
Nah, that's a fact. That's why you can't be like watching niggas profile and stalking niggas.
Yeah.
Niggas be saying, I hate this nigga, yo. He's a cornball, yo. Like, yeah, we don't even know this nigga.
And that be the funniest shit about that shit. Once you ask a nigga like, "Oh, why do you hate this nigga?" And then it's it's nothing to like really grasp for real, like on why the
I
motherfucker
be
had this
really
much
looking at niggas
animosity.
weird when they do that shit, yo. Like when you hate a nigga for no reason, it be some stupid shit. This nigga think he better than everybody. Like, how you feel like that?
It's like how? Like
Like,
the nigga wore like the same pair of fucking dirty shell heads 5 days in a row, nigga. You think this nigga think he better than everybody?
I nigga think he's specifically better than you, nigga. Like, I think that's what
Yeah,
you feel
like
like. Like, nah, nigga
that
always running
shit
his
just
mouth.
stuck.
Nigga said one little joke at this nigga, and this nigga whole nigga.
Oh, now this nigga a fucking comedian. Ha ha, tee hee. But it's always over some shit though. It's always over a bitch. Normally, the bitch might laugh at the joke for real.
Or like this nigga, giving this nigga some play, and this nigga not getting none.
Yeah, you know how that shit go for real, yo. But fellas, don't always keep your guard up no matter what when it comes to certain shit like that. Whether it's a fucking female that's just trying to talk to you at work or some shit, you at school, it's a female, you in the block, you around the way, you wherever. It's always types of shit like that. Like I just seen plenty of niggas like getting like little kerfuffles and shit like that at the bar because some drunk nigga was trying to talk on a chick and she was feeling on another nigga.
It happens. That should definitely be happening.
It happens, bro.
And on that note, I think it's gonna do it for this one, man. That's a great way to end it. Great way
Yeah.
to end it.
Shit,
Great way.
Boosie was right, my nigga.
Um, y'all know what to do. Y'all want to be privy to the discords, all that great shit. You know where to go. It's right in the description below,
Yes,
the
sir.
bio, everywhere you consume this at. Until next time, it's gonna do it for this one. See you there.
He breathe safe.